Luigi Mangione was led into the courtroom. He was wearing a beige prison outfit, escorted by two U.S. Marshals, where he sat down between his attorneys. The judge went through the process asking him if he understood his rights, if he had taken any medication, if he was under any medical care. All of his answers were crisp and clear, someone who was definitely in control and aware of what was going on today. And then when she started to ask him the specifics of his guilty plea, to explain what he had done that was wrong, Mangione chose to stay seated, and he started to read from a piece of paper. The judge actually stopped him and asked him to slow down because he was going too quickly through it. But a few things that stood out to me from what he said is he started it by saying, after years of enduring severe pain for a broken back, navigating obstacles in the healthcare system. So underscoring again what his motive here in this case is. And he walked through it saying another thing, he's underscoring what he had previously written about in those writings, the greed of the healthcare industry. He said he had emailed United Healthcare's leadership trying to find out about the specific location of the investor conference where he was targeting Brian Thompson. He said he claimed to have $50 billion in assets. And he said, like, unlike his other previous interactions with the healthcare industry, he got a response immediately within an hour. Then he went on to explain that he had made a gun using a 3D printer, that he had obtained a silencer, and then he said he traveled to New York with the intent to shoot Brian Thompson. He said, "I knew what I was doing was illegal." He did not say it was wrong. Now, as he was speaking, I was watching the family members who were sitting in the front row, and one of them I recognized was his widow. She was breathing heavily, clasping the arm of the woman sitting next to her. You could see the family members fighting back tears, holding onto each other's hands as he was describing in detail what he had done. Later in the proceeding, the judge had asked the prosecutor if this satisfied the plea agreement, or not an agreement, but it satisfied the plea and the elements of the crime. He said it did, and the judge asked him if Brian Thompson was aware what was happening between that first and second bullet that entered him. And the prosecutor said he was. That caused some gasps from the family members that were sitting in the front row. The pain of this experience quite visible to them. I will say for Mangione, he spoke very clearly, very level-headed. I only saw when he first got into the courtroom, before the proceedings got underway, he looked over toward the direction of the family members. It's unclear if he knew exactly who they were, but otherwise he just kept his eyes focused for the most time on the judge. He didn't really look around the courtroom, and after the proceeding was over, he stood up and he was led away by the marshals, where he will stay in federal custody, never once turning around again to look at the filled courtroom that was packed mostly with reporters, but also with several rows, members of the public there to witness it. And for the most part, you could hear a pin drop inside, other than the physical reaction from the family members with a few sobs.